Hi, I'm Simon from AWS, and this is my architecture. I'm joined today by Ed from NHS Digital.
Hello.
Let's start by telling me a little bit about NHS Digital. What do you guys do?
So we're the information and technology partner for the NHS.
Okay, and before we get into the architecture, let's talk a little bit about the scenario behind the architecture. What is this doing and how does it help?
So what we're looking at here is the architecture behind the data access environment, which we're putting on AWS to start to move away from some of our legacy systems that we currently run within NHS Digital.
Okay, so let's get into the architecture itself. Let's start going from left to right. We've got a number of users on the left-hand side. Who do they represent?
So these represent internal teams within NHS Digital.
Okay, and the EC2 instance on this side of the dotted line?
So this side is effectively a public gateway, and users can log into something called Guacamole here. And from there, they're effectively in a sandbox, which is on the right-hand side of this drawing, where they can look at and analyze data, but they can't get any of that data out of the system. So it's very important that this side is very secure to us. The users ultimately, they authenticate via directory services, so that we know who they are. Their role as a user is also used within the data processing tools to give them access to the right data. So we use something called Apache Ranger to make sure that users only see what they're meant to see, and we can control access that way.
Okay, and I noticed you've got S3 on the right-hand side here. Presumably you're storing data there?
That's right. So we are moving existing data sets and converting them to Parquet format, and we're putting them into S3 here.
Okay, and what are you doing to secure this data? Presumably it's confidential data you're storing?
That's right. So we are using KMS to provide a key to encrypt that data. It's all encrypted in transit, and any other information within the system is also encrypted.
Okay, and are you encrypting that data at rest as well?
That's right, yes. Yeah, it's encrypted always, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the security. Talk to me a little bit more about what you're using EMR for and what's it doing.
Yeah, so EMR is running the analytics jobs that we want to run, and it's providing a consistent compute layer for our data. So EMR reads the data from S3, and then we're able to perform those analytics jobs for people.
Okay, and let's take a step back. So how did you arrive at this architecture? Presumably you've gone through a number of steps to get there. Tell me about that journey.
Sure. We were looking at, so we've got a drive towards moving toward cloud infrastructures, and we looked at various options. So we looked at Cloudera, EMR, various others. We also looked at on-prem type solutions. Ultimately, we found that the flexibility of running something on EMR and the scale was kind of fit our use case quite well.
Okay. And from producing this architecture, what have been the benefits? What have NHS Digital seen as a result of this?
So the key benefits of moving to this architecture are in the performance of those analytics jobs. So what previously may have taken hours can now take minutes or seconds. We're also able to give much more fine-grained control over what people can and can't see, and a stronger audit within the infrastructure as well. We're also able to, from a functional perspective, put in a broader range of tooling than we're used to using today. So things like RStudio, Jupyter Hub, Hue, various others, because ultimately NHS Digital wants to move in the direction more towards machine learning and getting more value from the data that it holds, and not just necessarily doing what it does today.
And is that the long-term aspiration then to try and get more value out of that data?
That's right. Some of the processing that we try and do today is hamstrung by the technical limitations of what we have and the kind of scale. So moving to this architecture allows us to do those things.
Okay, so if I were to summarise, what you've created here is a highly secure environment which has allowed you to process data faster than you have done previously, but it sounds like you're still evolving that and you're looking to improve it in the future.
Yeah, that's right. This is it is an evolving service, and we're expanding out to more and more teams that want to use it, and they are moving away from their existing tools. And ultimately, we hope to turn off the existing estate, so that's when we'll see the real value benefits of doing this.
Well, thank you, Ed, for joining us today. And thank you very much for joining us on This Is My Architecture.